a lot of people always say, don't try to be a YouTuber, don't try to do this, don't start a business, don't do that, because you have only a 0.1% chance of success. But what I hear is that then I just gotta make 1,000 videos. And right now, I'm 20% there. And so you can use the law of big numbers, literally, the law of big numbers, to just mitigate luck, to achieve success. Think about it. People always say these crazy things like it's so unlikely. But you can just do it 1,000 times. You can just do it 100 times. You know, you don't have to succeed on the first try, nor the second try, nor the third try, and so on. I mean, think about it. You can make a sales call and not make a sale. You can do it again and not make a sale. But as long as you're willing to call again, you've lost nothing. Literally nothing. And that's one of the greatest lessons that I have learned through this process of making so many videos and through the journey, is that failure doesn't matter as long as you're willing to try again. And as long as you're willing to put yourself out there, you're willing to do it over and over, no matter how many times you get, face rejection, how many times you lose, how many times you fail, none of it actually matters. And no one actually really even cares. That's another thing. You think that, oh no, if I fail, then everyone will look at me and be this and that, and everyone will care and they'll remember it. And reality, no one will remember. Everyone will forget in 2 weeks that you ever even did it. Literally. You think you did the most embarrassing thing and you cannot comprehend how you can even live anymore, and there is no point in continuing. But 2 weeks from now, no one will remember. I mean, think about all the big YouTubers, for example, or big any influencers, and all of them have some big drama that has happened or some big oops. They've done something and caused some controversy, yet no one cares anymore. Because people forget and people move on, and nobody even really cared. Even when it happened, no one really cared that much. And so, if I can give one lesson to you, it's that no one actually cares that much, so just do it. No one cares if you fail, no one cares if you lose. You can just try again, and everyone will forget the failures. Ronaldo has lost matches. Ronaldo has missed penalties. Ronaldo has, not scored goals. Nobody remembers that. Same with every successful person on planet Earth. They've all gone and just failed so many times that they have built that mountain of L's. I call it the mountain of L's. You take so many L's that you can literally build a mountain with it. And then when you climb on the mountain, you stand on the mountain of L's that you have collected, you can reach a higher W that no one else can reach, because they were too scared to take the L's, that then they can use it to build the mountain to stand upon and reach that high. Everyone wants the big W, but they're not willing to take the L's required to get that, high ground to then reach it. And the second thing that I'm going to tell you, and what I've learned, is that you need quantity for quality. People always say these stupid things like quality over quantity. But what they don't understand is that you need quantity for quality. Let's look at a real life example. Let's say you're baking a cake, and this is the first cake that you've ever baked in your life. Now, it doesn't matter if you concentrate 100% and you're in the flow state and you got a professional cook right next to you helping you and teaching you how to do it. It's your first cake. It's probably not gonna be that good. But if you've made 1,000 cakes in your life, 1,000 cakes, you can kind of just go and wing it and kind of do whatever and not even try that hard, and the cake's probably gonna be a lot better than the first cake that you ever did, because you have the 1,000 experiences which to learn from, and which to take experience from, and which to gain knowledge from. And so what people don't understand is that you need quantity for quality. And I see this in my own videos. It's like every 20 videos, if I go and look back, I'm like, holy moly, my videos were horrible. But now they're a bit better. Not because anything magical happened, it's because I have gained 20 videos worth of experience on how to articulate myself. How to, make a thumbnail. How to do this, how to do that. I have simply gotten enough experience to where it allows me to be better. And if I didn't have that experience, if I didn't have the quantity, I could never get better. And so you have to have the quantity before you have the real quality. And so when people talk about quantity or quality, they need to understand that you need both. You want the high quality because of course it's high quality. But the only way to get that high quality is to first have high quantity. And then that allows you, with the experience and the knowledge, to be able to create high quality. And so what you need to understand is that even though you think it's gonna be easy, it's harder. So most people, at first they underestimate how difficult it's going to be. And then they overestimate their own capabilities. And I have certainly done the same. I thought my first video, which is privated by now, I thought my first video, oh man, that's probably gonna get, 50 views, 100 views at least. 0. And it deserves 0. Because it was horrible. In every way. But you need to understand that whether it's starting a business or making videos, you're always gonna at first think that it's easier than it's going to be, and the journey is gonna be shorter than it's going to be, and that you're better than you actually are. And even in everyday things like a diet, people always say, oh, tomorrow I'm gonna start a diet, and in 3 months I'm gonna look so good. Because I'm gonna go and train like this, and I'm gonna eat like this, and it's gonna be super easy, and you think it's easy. But the moment you start the diet and you actually have to follow it, it's hard. You're like, oh, I actually feel a bit hungry. And oh, I don't actually feel like going to the gym all the time that I planned. So everything is always harder than it seems, and you always overestimate yourself. You always think you're a bit better than you actually are, at least in the beginning. But then, of course, with time, you get better, and then you get a more comprehending understanding of your own skill set, and then you get a more realistic view of what you actually are capable of. And you know what? This leads perfectly to the third point that I've learned, which is that you're capable of so much more than you think. It sounds contradicting. Oh, you overestimate yourself, but you're actually capable of more than you can ever think. How does that even make sense? It's a contradiction, right? But it's not. You overestimate your own skills and how good you are, but you underestimate what you are capable of doing. And what I mean with that is that you can work 12 hours if you need to. You can work more than you think. I thought that I was super hard working before when I was, half-assing my studies and doing nothing else. But now that I'm doing my studies and going to the gym and making videos and doing so much more, now I'm like, oh, I'm actually capable of it. You can do so much more. Like, you think, there's so many people who are like, oh, I'm focused on my studies, and I can't do anything else. But it's like, you can. You can still go to the gym. You can still do something else on the side. You're probably not studying 16 hours a day. So even if you study 10 hours a day, you still have 6 hours to do other things. And so you are capable of working more than you think. And there's so many proofs of this in literally just human history. People who've been stranded on islands, people who've been stranded in the wilderness, they don't have food, they don't have water, they have no sleep, and they still work 20 hours in a row to survive because it's worth it. And so when you're doing things that are worth it, all of a sudden you're capable of working so much more than you think. And so the next time you think that, I don't feel like it, I'm feeling a bit lazy, you can't do it, you can. You absolutely can. All humans have the capability to work 12 hours a day or 16 hours a day if you really need to. Now I'm not saying you should do it every day or all the time, but it's absolutely something that you're capable of if you need to go into that mode and get shit done. And a lot of people think that, how horrible, working 12 hours a day, how horrible, that must suck. But in actuality, it's quite amazing. Because think about it. In this life, you have such a limited number of seconds that you are alive. And why not use all of it? I mean, why would you want to use your literal finite time on planet Earth to just sit around and do nothing? Like, that's a wasting your life, literally, by definition. And so why wouldn't you want to use every second of your life to do something to further yourself in some way? Whether it be getting in better shape, whether it be eating healthier, whether it be working, whether it be studying, learning new skills, whatever. But every second that you are alive, shouldn't you want to use it on something good, something productive? And so working 12 hours a day is actually quite amazing. And you know what? It feels amazing. People think that if you work 12 hours, you'll feel like shit. But in actuality, you'll feel amazing. Because you know that you've done something. You've gotten something done. And that feeling of proudness and pride that you can have in yourself for achieving something and doing something that most people are not willing to do is so worth it. It's one of the best feelings that you can have. And so I absolutely recommend, and it's once again one of those lessons that I've learned along the way, and I can absolutely tell you, you are capable of so much more. You can do it. You think that you've already, reached the peak. You think that you work hard, but you can work harder. You can do more. You can spend more time working, learning all these things. And it's possible, and you're capable of it. And most people don't even understand what they're capable of because they'll never even tried. But if you just go for one day working 12 hours straight, then you're like, oh, it's possible, and you can do it. So go out there and actually give it your all. Literally, give it your all. And there's this one quote that I have said before in previous videos, and I kind of live by it. It's, if you're too scared to lose, you won't play. But if you don't play, you can't win. If you don't make the video, no one can watch it. If you never ask the girl, she can't say yes. If you never ask the question, you will never know the answer. If you never create and build your dreams, they will never come true. You have to take action and take quite a lot of it before you can even see any results. So go out there, stay disciplined, chase your dreams, and have a fantastic day.